Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to fill out a 3-year custodial cleaning services contract for a community college. We're going to go over the questions due date, the site visit date, and the final submission date. We're going to download all the documents and fill them out together. And lastly, we're going to do pricing. All right, let's get started. Now, as I said, this is a cleaning services contract for a community college. These contracts have due dates to ask questions. So the questions due date is November 12th at 10 a.m. The contract was available and open on October 22nd at 2 p.m. and the date for final submission is November 19th at 10 a.m. There is also an optional site visit Tuesday, October 29th at 10 a.m. And luckily for this contract, there is no bid bond. Usually some contracts ask you for a bid bond, which would be 5% of your total bid or 10% of your total bid. This contract is not asking for that. And they are seeking custodial services for 7 buildings on campus. Now, after you've gone over and read the request for proposal, come up with some questions you may have for this contract, because the due date to ask questions is November 12th at 10 a.m. Now, to ask questions, you would just scroll down and click public Q&A, and you will see there are multiple questions here. The most important question that I like to ask is, what was the pricing they accepted last year? And as you can see here, someone already asked that question. Who currently has the contract? What is the annual projected spend, or rather, what is the current amount of the current contract? Now, they tell us the company who holds the current contract, but they do not let us know the price they accepted from that company. Sometimes you'll get that, but it's good to ask that question anyway. Some other questions that were asked were about supplies, about invoicing, and about the bid bond. And someone, of course, says, just confirming that no bid bond is being requested for this bid. And they answered, yes, a bid bond is not required for this project. So the first thing I always recommend is to ask questions about pricing and any other questions you may have about supplies, about the bid bond, how many hours can you work, what time can you start working, etc. All right, now that we've gone over the questions, let's go over the site visit date. This is an optional pre-bid meeting. Some contracts ask for mandatory site visits so you can see exactly what you're going to be servicing. So if you don't go to that site visit, that means you can't apply for that contract. But this one was optional. I went on this site visit. It is good to always go on a site visit. I'm going to show you a quick B-roll of me touring the college, seeing exactly what needs to be serviced. So make it a priority to go on these site visits. Unless if you can't, hopefully they have specifications letting you know the square footage of the buildings or the sites you need to be servicing. And if you miss a site visit, it doesn't hurt to ask if you can schedule another one with them. And you would do that before the questions due date. All right, guys, we've gone over the questions. We've gone over the site visit. I showed you a quick B-roll of what the campus looked like. Now let's go over the documents that we need to fill out. Now to do that, just scroll on down and you will see here all the supporting documentation. Now some are general information and some needs to be filled out. Let's go down one by one and see what these documents entail. So for the first document, Exhibit 1 Service Schedule of Tasks. Let's download that. All right, so this document looks like the scope of work, letting you know what needs to be done daily, what needs to be done weekly, what needs to be done monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So as you can see, daily, empty and spot clean trash and recycling, dust buildings, vacuum, wash chairs in the break room, monthly, and so on. So just keep this for your information so you know exactly what is expected of you. All right, now that's that on that document, which is a schedule of tasks, letting you know exactly what they need done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Now let's move on to the next document. All right, the next document, Exhibit 2, General Building Layout Plans. Let's download that. All right, and now this is exactly what it says it is, the floor plan of the building. So it's about 25 pages of the floor plan of all the buildings buildings that needs to be serviced. Now, I'm not that good at reading floor plans, so I always recommend you guys take advantage and go to that site visit so you can see it for yourself. All right, let's move on to the next document. All right, the next document, Exhibit 3, Standard Contract Terms and Conditions. Let's download that. Make sure you go through the entire document just in case there is something you need to fill out. Not all documents are general information. Right? And as you can see here on the last page, it asks for the contractor to sign, print, enter in their title and the date. Now I'm going to show you a completed version of this. Now this is my completed version. It has my signature, my name printed, the title, I'm the owner, and the date. And this section right here is for the college to fill out. Now, once you've done and completed this document, I always recommend to stay organized, save it with your company name, add in that it's complete, and then you can leave the rest of the title of the document as is. So the title of the document was already called Exhibit 3, the college name, Standard Contract Terms and Conditions. You would just add in your company name and that the document is completed and leave the title as is, just to stay organized for yourself. All right, now the terms and conditions document is completed, so we're gonna save that and move on to the next document. All right, let's move on to the next document. RAC RFP Custodial Cleaning Service Addendum. Now you will see an addendum document sometimes. That addenda is just any project details that have changed or any additional information added to this project. Now, when you're submitting your contract, they will ask you the question, was there an addenda issued? They will ask you to enter the addenda name and the date it was received. So don't forget that. There were obviously, looks like 2 addendas, because this is addendum 1, same thing, and addendum 2. They will ask me to list the addendas that was included and also the dates received. So don't forget that. Let's go to addendum 1 and see what that says. All right, now addendum 1 just shows a few questions that has been answered. Of course, the most important question, which is what was the last price? They say this university does not include the cost of the current contract. So makes it even more competitive, honestly. When your competitors don't see last year's pricing, they don't have a reason to compete with that price. They will have to genuinely put in the price that they have. So it's not always bad when you don't see last year's pricing. All right, let's see what else is included in this addenda. It just looks like everyone that attended the pre-bid meeting. You can see my business card right here, just a list of whoever attended the meeting. And that's that on that document, which is RAC Custodial Services Addendum 1. Now for the next document, it looks like it's the same, but it doesn't hurt to open that document up and see what it is. Yep, as I said, it looks like it is the pre-bid meeting details, a few questions that have been answered, and a list of all the contractors or all the companies that attended the pre-bid meeting, aka the site visit. All right, let's move on to the next document. All right, next document here, RAC RFP Addendum 2. And they even add some description about the document here. So of course it says, in this document, project details have changed. All right, let's download that and see what that's about. All right, now for this addendum number 2 document here, looks like it's a bunch of questions answered. Next page looks like the bid form, which is where you would put in your pricing, has the schedules of tasks required for this project, and that's that on that document. All right, for the next document here, it says Custodial Cleaning Services Advertisement. All right, this looked like a general information document letting you know they are seeking bids from qualified contractors to provide cleaning services across 7 buildings on campus. They're letting you know when it's due, which is November 19th at 10 a.m., letting you know that it is a 3-year contract with 2 optional 1-year extensions based on performance, which really means if you hold the contract, had it for 3 years, and it's up, they give you an option to extend the contract twice for 1 year each. They let you know when the site visit is, let you know when the question's due date is, and let you know once again when the contract is due. So that's that on this this document. Let's move on to the next. Now for the next and final document on this list, it is the actual RFP, the request for proposal. This is where most of the information lies. So let's download that. All right, it looks like this contract is about 22 pages. Like I said, I've had contracts that are from 60 to 100 pages. You just need to decipher from the general information and the important information that you need to read and the information you need to fill out. All right, let's get through it, right? As you can see, second page just shows that advertisement. For over here, just shows you the project timeline, when it's due, when the contract will be awarded, and when cleaning services will begin, which looks like it's February 7th of 2025. Now, this right here is very important. Evaluation of bid, what they need to evaluate your bid. So it says all bids must meet or exceed requirements in order to be reviewed. So lowest priced, responsive, and responsible bid, compliance with RFP specifications, references. So they'll need 3 references, qualifications and experience of personnel. So that can be a resume and your references. So far the additional documentation they'll need is 3 references and your resume and any documents they have included that needs to be filled out. All right, let's keep going through the RFP and see what else they need. All right, here they're just showing some general information, showing you when you can invoice them. And the best of all, I see they have the locations and general description. So you can see the sites they need serviced and you can actually see the square footage. So right here, Kratz Hall is 26,000 square feet. So if you wasn't in that site visit, at least you know the square footage of the building you'll be cleaning. And then right here, Schmidt Technology and Training Center, that's 40,000 square feet. And they include the location. When you go up here, they need the 𝐜𝐚𝐥𝐿 Library cleaned, which is 43,000 square feet. They even let you know how many stories it is. It's a 5-story building, ground floor plus 4 floors. So it's very detailed, which is great. As you can see, the Student Union building, 11,000 square feet. White's Hall needs to be cleaned. That's 51,000 square feet, 5-story building. They let you know when the building is active from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and you can only clean after hours. So this contract, you need someone there to be cleaning every single day. So for White's Hall, for example, you would have to start cleaning after 9:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and so on. Burks Hall, 108,000 square feet building. And lastly, Miller Center. It's a 2-story building, and it is needed to be cleaned on an as needed or on call basis. All right, very important section, guys. So I would print this out for your information. All right, let's keep going. We're going through the request for proposal. And as I stated before, what needs to be included in the contract so far is your resume and 3 references and any documentation they ask you to fill out. We filled out the terms and conditions document so far. And let's keep going through this RFP. All right, now for here is just going through everything that needs to be cleaned, like in the restrooms. This work includes cleaning, disinfecting, emptying out all trash and receptacles. Another important thing to know, you guys, is are you supplying the trash bags? Are you supplying the toilet tissue, the hand soap, the towels? For this contract, the university will be supplying that. But some contracts ask you to supply any toiletries or any trash can liners. So it's good to know that so you can add that into your price. But this university will be supplying all the toiletries and all the trash bags as well. So for this section, they're just going through what you have to do. Dusting, cleaning, polishing furniture, telephone needs to be dusted, cleaned, and so on. Floor stripping and waxing, not in the contract. That's another thing that is very important to know. If you have a cleaning contract, do you have to strip and wax floors? Do you have to do any annual carpet cleaning? So that's good to know that they do not need that. All right, now for this page, it clearly states that the university will provide paper towels, toilet paper, hand cleaning soap, trash can liners, and sanitary disposable bags. So like I said, really good to know. So you don't have to add that into your pricing. Now for supplies and equipment, the successful bidder shall provide all chemical cleaning products, and equipment necessary for performance of work. So you won't have to provide any of this unless you are the successful bidder, which it states right here. Now for criminal background checks, this is another one. This is another good question to ask if you need to provide background checks of your employees, and if that cost is on the vendor, which is you, or if that cost is on the college. And as it says here, the successful bidder shall provide copies of all criminal background checks performed by the contractor or any employee assigned to work at the college. So after 30 days, new hires will not be allowed to work until such time as the college receives copies of the successful criminal background investigations. And right here it states what kind of background checks they need. Each contractor or employee must have a clear PA State Police criminal background check and child abuse history clearance. In the event that an FBI criminal background check is required, the college will reimburse the contractor for the assessed fee only. So it clearly states that it is on the vendor to supply PA State criminal background checks and a child abuse history clearance. So that cost is on you. Remember to consider that cost into your pricing. All right, guys, quick recap. As you know, the successful bidder shall provide any cleaning products and equipment necessary for the performance of work unless you're the successful bidder. The college will provide all toiletries and trash bags, which is good to know. And for criminal background checks, if you are the successful bidder, then it is on you, it is on your dime to provide them with PA State Police criminal background checks and child abuse history clearance for each employee. All right, let's move on to the next page. This is another important area, bid content. The following documents must be included as part of your bid. So number one, a list of contractors' equipment, a detailed resume, supervisory acknowledgement confirming at no time will work be performed on campus without a qualified supervisor on site, a 2-column schedule of employee positions sorted by years of service, and a contingency plan. So this all has to be included in your bid. So a list of your equipment, a resume, an acknowledgement from your supervisor confirming that no work will be performed without a supervisor there, a 2-column schedule of employee positions, and a contingency plan. And also remember, they need at least 3 references, and of course submitting your pricing sheets and any documents they need filled out, like that terms and conditions document we already filled out. So keep this on the side for you and just cross off your list as you go. Now for here, this is the minimum amount of hours of labor they need per day. So at minimum, at most, this is how many hours they're gonna be paying you per day. 80 hours a day. As you can see here, how many hours they need worth of labor at each building, which totals up to 80 hours per day. Now for pricing over here, they're gonna ask you how much per year. So 80 hours times 6 days a week times 52 weeks in a year is 24,960 hours per year. So what you're gonna do is multiply 24,960 hours times your hourly rate, and that will give you the yearly cost. And we're gonna do that together. Now for the next page, just a bunch of general information, but of course, read through it. It even include a list of documents needed when they are evaluating your bid, which is the employee hourly rate, which is your price, your equipment list, your references, compliance with specifications, which is what they asked in the last couple of pages, which was that contingency plan, that supervisory acknowledgement, and of course, number 5, it says evidence of financial stability. And what they mean by that, for evidence of financial stability, they need you to send over your personal tax return to the college before the bid due date to determine evidence of financial stability. So don't worry, guys, we're gonna do this together. It can seem like a lot, but as we go through it, it's doable. Okay, Move on to the next. Just have a list ready. I'll even show you my crossed off list, a quick B-roll of my crossed off list, because as you go through the contract, it looks like they're just asking you for more and more and more. And you can easily forget to include some important information. I feel like the more information you include, the stronger your bid will be. Although it's mostly determined on pricing, it is also determined on how responsible you are with your bid to include all the documents they need. All right, keep moving. All right, looks like general information here. And for page number 17, it looks like they're asking for a non-collusion affidavit, which I let you guys know you will see this document a lot. Most of the time it needs to be notarized, but in this case, it does not need to be notarized. All right, so this is a document that needs to be filled out, the non-collusion affidavit right here, and equal employment statement here. So for the non-collusion affidavit, you'd enter in your state, county, your company name, your title. I state that, name of firm, which is the name of your company here. Add in your signature, print your name, your title, and date. And that would be that for this document. For the equal employment statement, add in your signature, print your name, enter in your title, which is the owner, and the date. And I'm going to show you my completed document. All right, guys, this is my completed document. I entered in my state, my county, my company name, that I'm the owner as the title. Down here, I entered in my company name where it asks name of firm, entered in my signature, printed my name, added my title, which is the owner, entered in the date, and that is that for the non-collusion affidavit document. Now for over here, very simple. For the equal employment statement, I just entered in my signature, printed my name, added in the title, I'm the owner, and entered in the date. And that is that for the equal employment statement. Let's move on to the next page. Right, for this page, it is asking for statement of bidder's qualifications. So you're going to fill both pages out, enter in the name of bidder, that would be your company name, your main office address, the year it was organized. If it's a corporation, where was it incorporated? How many years have you been engaged in the contracting business under your present firm name? So really just states how many years you've been in business with that business name. Number 6, have you ever failed to complete any work awarded to you? Yes or no? If so, where and why? Have you ever defaulted on a contract? Yes or no? If so, where and why? Now for number 8, please provide information listed below as an attachment to this form. These are the additional required documents they already asked you to include. Those were on the earlier pages of this request for proposal. So a list of your equipment on hand, schedule of contracts. How many contracts do you have on hand, showing the amount of each contract and the anticipated date of completion. Your references, a resume from your supervisor, and that can be from you. An acknowledgement confirming that at no time will work be performed on campus without a qualified supervisor on site, which we've discussed in the previous pages, but now it's more in order for you guys. A 3-column list of employee positions. In the previous page, it actually said a 2-column list of your employees' positions sorted by years of service. So for me, I just did a 2-column list. And the next thing they ask is for a contingency plan, which they already stated in the previous pages of the contract. So keep a list on the side of everything you need for this contract. I'll show you my list really quick. And all I did was just keep crossing things off as I go. All right, for number 9, will you, upon request, fill out a detailed financial statement and furnish any information that the college may require? So just enter in yes or no. I would enter in yes. For number 10, they just ask you if you've ever been involved in any legal proceedings involving race, color, nationality, or religion. You just enter in yes or no. 10B, have you ever been accused for discrimination based on race, color, nationality, or religion? You just circle yes or no. And for number 11, it just asks you to sign, print your name, add in your title, which is the owner, and enter in the date. Now I'm going to show you my completed version of the statement of bidders qualifications section. All right, guys, as you can see here, this is my filled out statement of bidders qualifications section. I entered in the name of the bidder, which is my company name, and I included my name as well, my permanent main office address, address, the year I was organized, if I'm a corporation, where incorporated, if not, just enter in not available, how many years I've been engaged in the contracting business under this firm name, enter that in. Have I ever failed any work? Nope. Have you ever defaulted on a contract? I entered in no. Now for number 8, where it asks you for the list of equipment, your contracts on hand, references, your resume, your acknowledgement statement, your contingency plan, I'm going to show you how I created this in a separate document. Now for number 9, will you upon request fill out financial statement? I just entered in yes, and no, I've never been involved in any legal proceedings for number 10. And for number 11, I just signed, printed my name, entering that I'm the owner, and dated. And this document is complete. As I said before, we'll go back to do number 8. Now let's head on to the last page of the RFP, which will be the pricing. All right, guys, now the pricing section is very easy. All you have to do is enter in your hourly rate. So 24,960 times your hourly rate equals the yearly cost. So this is how many hours of labor they need every year, 24,960 hours. And you multiply that by your hourly rate. Now I'm going to show you an example, but you can play with this and see how much of that hourly rate will be your profit and how much of that hourly rate would go to your employee. So for example, say the hourly rate you're going to charge them is $23. 23 times 24,960 is $574,000 a year. And after 5 years, that'll total up to almost $3 million. So like I said, this can easily be a $3 million contract on the low end. Even if you were paying your employees $15 an hour, you can be making, with this example, $8 an hour in profit. So let's do the math on that. So 8 times 24,960 hours, you will still be profiting $199,680 per year off of $8 per hour, guys. So like I said, this is on the low end. So play with your numbers, even if you went a little higher and you're just being reasonable for yourself and your employee. But the business is really competitive, so you got to be competitive with your pricing. But say if you're being reasonable, guys, at $30 an hour, you're charging them $30 an hour for 24,960 hours a year. Let's see what that'll get us. So that is $748,800 per year. And after 5 years, that'll be a gross of $3.7 million for a 5-year period for this contract. So this can be a great opportunity, guys. Even at $8 an hour, you can make $200,000 a year in profit. So work with these numbers, put in your hourly rate here, put in the total cost, add that up, and you'll get your grand total. And they even ask for a material markup percentage price for extra work only. So this is just an example. You could put it at 10%, 15%, 20% markup for any extra work or for any extra materials needed. Now, don't forget, they will give you a section here to enter in your pricing, but they will give you an Excel spreadsheet section to enter in your pricing as well. So let's go back to the PenBid website, download that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then we'll head on to number 8, where it asks you for all of that additional information you need to include in your bid. And we're going to use ChatGPT to help us do this. All right, guys, now we're back on that PenBid website, and I'm going to show you the Excel spreadsheet they ask for. Once you scroll down, you'll see a pricing section, and it says pricing section Excel table. You download that. Go to the responses tab and you'll see right here, same thing. It's asking you for your pricing. So say if you put $23 here, $23 here, $23 here. Now year 4 and 5 are optional extensions. So you can raise your pricing. Put that to 24, put that to 25. This is just an example, guys. And you see how much you're making a year on $23 an hour, $574,000, $599,000 at $24 an hour, $624,000 a year at $25 per hour. And it can easily be an almost $3 million contract for custodial services at this community college. Take your time with pricing, guys. Now let's move on to the additional documentation they need. Now this is my additional documentation document that I came up with. It shows my equipment. It shows my contracts on hand. So I just put a bid table with my clients I currently have, the type of contract it is, the amount, the effective date, the start date, and the completion date. Next section, I acknowledge that a supervisor will always be on site. Next section, I entered in a contingency plan, which is what they asked for, which I put in here. And all this was generated by ChatGPT. I just entered in some information and prompted ChatGPT to generate me a more detailed version. Let's go to ChatGPT and let them do it. All right, guys, now we're on ChatGPT and we're going to go over number 8. So you'll see what I wrote in. I am bidding on a custodial services contract for this college. They are asking me for 5 things. A, equipment for immediate use, including hand tools. And the way I got this, guys, I just copied and pasted exactly what they asked me for. And I'm going to show you. See, for number 8 right here, I just copied all of this stuff and pasted onto ChatGPT. So I just wrote, I'm bidding on a custodial services contract for this college. They are asking me for 5 things. Everything that number 8 asked me for. Okay. And then I wrote, please give me what they asked for in a structured way and include that my name is Beatrice, owner of this company. The contracts I have on hand is with this housing authority for painting and janitorial services. Cleaning is for this amount. The completion date is this date. The effective date is this date. Another contract I have on hand is with this company for this service. The amount for that contract is this much money. And the completion date is this date and the effective date is that date. The last contract I have on hand is with this company to clean this many district courthouse locations. The amount for this contract is this much money a year and the completion date is this date and the start date is that date. Let's keep scrolling down what I entered in. For the 2-column schedule of employee positions sorted by years of service, remember that's something that they asked for. Please include my employees' names and their years of service. And I just entered in all of my employees' names and I put real simple, they all have 5 years of custodial cleaning service experience. All right, now let's see what ChatGPT is going to generate me. Here is a structured response for your bid submission to this college. Got my proposal for custodial services submitted by me, owner of my company. And there you go. There you have it. Look at the equipment for immediate use. Shows the contracts I have on hand in a structured table way. It shows the acknowledgement of a supervisory presence on site, which is what they asked for. It gave me a structured contingency plan based on what they asked for. It gave me a 2-column schedule of employee positions, put the years of service, the position, and put in a simple paragraph right here. These are the cleaners listed. And that is that on that. And I just copied and pasted this into a Word document, structured it the right way, because you know when you copy and paste from ChatGPT, there's a bunch of stars. Just delete those stars and all of that. And that is that on that. But remember, it also asks me for a resume and for references. So I included that as well. And I'm going to show you how I merged multiple documents into one using a website called I Love PDF Merger. So I just google.com, go to I Love PDF Merge. I'll leave the link to this website down below. And all you do is click select PDF files and just select them in order, because the first one you select will be your first page. The last one you select will be your last page. And once you select all your files, it'll have an option that says merge PDF files. And it will merge your PDF and download it for you. And you'll come up with this. You'll see what I mean. And then it'll come up with this, which is my additional documents PDF. And as you can see, this is how I labeled it. I entered in my name, put the college name, and labeled it additional documents. Same goes for the RFP, the request for proposal, where we were filling out the non-collusion affidavit, filling out the equal employment statement, and the statement for bidders qualifications document. I'll show you how I labeled and saved that. It was the same thing. my company name, labeled it as complete, the college, and I left the rest of the title of the document the same. All right, now for the additional documents section, I just copied and pasted what ChatGPT gave me. You can see here, and you can see that here. And then I included my resume here. Remember, I merged all these separate PDFs together using that website, I Love PDF Merger. You can see here, this is my resume. Then I added in my references here. And I was sure to include my women-owned small business certification. Just adding a little more to your resume, a little more to your background to make your proposal even stronger. So as you can see here, I included my letter letting them know that I'm certified as a woman-owned small business. And that is that on this document, guys. Now we are ready to submit our proposal. So let's just recap, guys. We're just going to be submitting that RFP that includes the non-collusion affidavit, the equal employment statement, and the statement for bidders qualifications, and the pricing, which is right here. Remember, non-collusive affidavit, equal employment statement, statement of bidders qualifications, and the pricing. So we're going to be submitting all of that. We're going to also be submitting that terms and conditions document. Don't forget that we had to fill that out, which is right here, the contract terms and provisions document. That's number 2 that we will be submitting. Number 3 is that additional documentation section, which was in number 8, where they ask you for the equipment of use, contracts on hand, supervisor acknowledgement, and so on, like your resume, your references. And of course, I included that I have my women-owned small business certification. That's number 3. The next thing is that Excel spreadsheet document where you include your pricing, and that's it, and you're ready for submission. And to submit all of these documents, you would scroll all the way down, and there would be a section where it says to start your submission. Now, submissions have been closed. I already submitted my contract for bid. So wish me luck, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this. I do free consultation calls where I help you fill out these type of contracts, walk you through the entire process. We also have services where we provide you with virtual assistants so you can teach your VA how to apply for these multiple contracts as well. And of course, we help with personal and business credit. So head on to our website, click the link down below, and book your free consultation call. All right, guys, good luck. Have a good day. Peace.